A gentle stream of quiet science can unfold here, moving slowly and evenly, offering simple observations that rest lightly in the mind. The pace will remain calm and steady, allowing each idea to settle without effort. A crow's brain is small in size, yet it contains a dense arrangement of neurons that support flexible thinking. This compact structure allows efficient processing of information in a way that appears measured and deliberate. There is space here for stillness, and for small pieces of knowledge to drift by without urgency. The words remain soft and even, and nothing needs to be held tightly. The mind can listen or simply rest alongside the sound of each sentence. The rhythm stays consistent, with no sudden changes, and no expectation to remember or react. Each moment is complete on its own, and then gently gives way to the next. Crows belong to a group of birds known for their adaptability. Their bodies are designed for flight, but their behavior often shows careful observation of their surroundings. They watch quietly, noticing patterns in movement and change. A crow can recognize individual human faces. This recognition is not fleeting. It can persist over long periods, suggesting a stable form of memory. The bird stores visual details and retrieves them when needed, without visible strain. The feathers of a crow appear black, yet under certain light they reveal subtle shades of blue or violet. This effect comes from the way light interacts with the feather structure, bending and scattering in soft layers. Crows use tools in a simple and practical manner. A small stick can be shaped and adjusted, then used to reach food hidden in narrow spaces. The process is slow and careful, with each movement serving a clear purpose. In quiet environments, crows communicate through a range of calls. These sounds can signal the presence of food or the approach of something unfamiliar. Each call carries meaning within the group. A crow's beak is strong and slightly curved, suited for many tasks. It can open shells, tear small pieces of food, or hold objects during flight. The design supports both strength and precision. Crows remember locations where food has been stored. They may hide small items and return later, guided by memory rather than chance. This behavior reflects an internal map that remains stable over time. The eyes of a crow are positioned to provide a wide field of view. This allows awareness of both the ground and the sky, creating a balanced sense of space. Crows can learn by watching others. If one bird discovers a useful method, others may observe and repeat the behavior. This quiet sharing of knowledge spreads gradually through the group. A crow's flight is steady and controlled. The wings move in smooth patterns, lifting the body with minimal effort. There is no rush in the motion, only a consistent rhythm. Crows can solve simple problems that involve multiple steps. They approach tasks with patience, adjusting their actions as needed. Each attempt builds on the previous one. The structure of a crow's nest is carefully arranged. Twigs are placed in layers, forming a stable base. Softer materials are added inside, creating a comfortable space. Crows show awareness of time in a subtle way. They may return to certain places at regular intervals, guided by routine rather than visible cues. The brain of a crow contains regions that support decision-making. These areas process information and guide behavior in a calm, methodical manner. Crows can distinguish between different objects based on shape and size. This ability helps them select suitable tools or identify food sources. A crow's feathers provide insulation, maintaining body temperature in varying conditions. The layers trap air, creating a gentle barrier against the environment. Crows sometimes gather in groups, forming quiet assemblies. These gatherings may serve social or protective purposes, though they remain calm and unhurried. The feet of a crow are adapted for gripping. They can hold branches securely, allowing the bird to rest without effort. Crows can adjust their behavior based on experience. If a situation changes, they respond with small, measured shifts rather than sudden reactions. The lifespan of a crow can extend over many years. During this time, it accumulates knowledge of its surroundings, forming a steady understanding of its environment. Crows are capable of planning simple actions ahead of time. They may prepare tools or store food with future use in mind, reflecting a quiet sense of anticipation. The sound of a crow's call can vary in tone and length. Each variation carries a subtle difference in meaning, understood within the group. Crows often move with a deliberate pace on the ground. Each step is placed carefully, with attention to detail. The wings of a crow are shaped to allow both gliding and active flight. This flexibility supports energy-efficient movement. Crows can remember past interactions with other animals. These memories influence future behavior in a calm and consistent way. The environment of a crow includes trees, open spaces, and human structures. The bird adapts to each setting without visible strain. Crows can use water in simple ways, such as softening food. This behavior shows an understanding of cause and effect. The beak of a crow continues to grow slowly over time. It is maintained through natural use, wearing down as the bird interacts with objects. Crows observe their surroundings with quiet attention. They pause often, allowing time for information to settle. The feathers of a crow are maintained through gentle preening. This process keeps them aligned and functional. Crows can recognize patterns in their environment. Repeated events become familiar, guiding their responses. The body of a crow is lightweight, supporting sustained flight. The bones are structured to reduce weight while maintaining strength. Crows can form simple social bonds. These connections remain stable, providing a sense of continuity. The movement of a crow's head is smooth and controlled. It turns to focus on specific details, then returns to a neutral position. Crows may follow routines that repeat daily. These patterns create a predictable rhythm in their behavior. The quiet intelligence of crows is expressed through small, consistent actions rather than sudden displays. Each behavior unfolds naturally, without urgency. Crows are able to understand simple sequences of events. When one action leads to another, they can follow the order without confusion. This awareness of sequence allows them to move through tasks in a calm and structured way. A crow can drop hard food onto a solid surface to break it open. The motion is repeated with patience, each attempt bringing a small change until the shell gives way. There is no visible frustration, only steady repetition. The nervous system of a crow supports quick processing, yet its behavior often appears unhurried. Information is taken in and used efficiently, without unnecessary movement. Crows can recognize the difference between familiar and unfamiliar objects. This distinction shapes how they approach their surroundings, guiding them toward what is known and away from what is uncertain. The sound of wind moving through feathers creates a soft, almost silent texture during flight. This quiet movement allows crows to travel without drawing attention. Crows sometimes store multiple food items in separate locations. Each place is remembered with quiet accuracy, forming a scattered network of hidden resources. The beak of a crow can sense pressure and texture. This sensitivity helps the bird adjust its grip when holding small or delicate objects. Crows can adapt their calls depending on the situation. A softer sound may be used in calm conditions, while a sharper tone signals change. The balance of a crow is maintained through subtle adjustments in its body. Even on narrow branches, it remains steady without visible effort. Crows may observe other animals to gather information. By watching quietly, they learn without direct interaction. The feathers on a crow's wings overlap in a precise arrangement. This layering supports smooth airflow and stable lift. Crows can remember the outcome of past actions. If a method was effective, it may be repeated in a similar context. The eyes of a crow can focus on both near and distant objects. This flexibility allows it to shift attention without delay. Crows sometimes work together in loose coordination. One bird's action may influence another, creating a gentle form of cooperation. The structure of a crow's brain includes regions similar in function to those found in mammals. These regions support learning and memory in a comparable way. Crows can adjust their feeding habits based on availability. When one food source becomes limited, they shift to another without disruption. The landing of a crow is controlled and precise. The wings slow the descent, and the feet make contact with minimal force. Crows may return to the same resting places over time. These locations become familiar points within their environment. The feathers of a crow resist water to a certain degree. This quality helps maintain warmth and function during light rain. Crows can recognize simple patterns in human behavior. Repeated actions become predictable, allowing the bird to respond accordingly. The sound of a crow's wings during takeoff is brief and measured. It fades quickly as the bird gains height. Crows can hold objects in their feet while using their beak. This coordination allows for careful manipulation of items. The body posture of a crow can change subtly in response to its surroundings. These shifts are small and continuous. Crows may explore new areas slowly, taking time to observe before moving further. This gradual approach reduces uncertainty. The internal sense of direction in a crow helps it navigate across distances. Landmarks and memory work together to guide movement. Crows can distinguish between different types of surfaces. This awareness helps them choose stable places to land or walk. The quiet presence of a crow in its environment often goes unnoticed. Its movements blend into the background, steady and unobtrusive. Crows may adjust the shape of a tool slightly to improve its use. This refinement is done with small, deliberate changes. The feathers along a crow's neck can shift position, creating subtle variations in appearance. These changes reflect light differently. Crows can remember where other crows have stored food. This awareness sometimes leads to careful observation of others' actions. The breathing of a crow is steady and efficient. It supports both rest and activity without visible strain. Crows may pause between actions, allowing time for observation. These pauses are part of their natural rhythm. The skeletal structure of a crow supports both strength and lightness. This balance allows for extended periods of flight. Crows can learn to avoid certain areas based on past experiences. This learning remains stable over time. The sound of a crow's call can travel across open spaces, carrying information over distance. Crows may interact with objects out of simple curiosity. These interactions are calm and unforced. The wings of a crow can adjust angle slightly during flight. These small changes maintain balance and direction. Crows can recognize differences in color and brightness. This ability helps them identify food and objects. The quiet intelligence of crows is not displayed in large gestures. It appears in small, consistent behaviors that repeat over time. Crows may gather materials for their nests from a variety of sources. Each piece is selected and placed with care. The muscles of a crow's wings are adapted for endurance. They support repeated movement without rapid fatigue. Crows can respond to changes in weather with subtle adjustments in behavior. They may seek shelter or alter their activity. The presence of a crow in a landscape often reflects its adaptability. It moves comfortably between natural and human-made environments. Crows may watch reflections in water or glass. These observations are brief and calm. The beak of a crow can apply both force and precision. It is used for tasks that require different levels of pressure. Crows can recognize the calls of other birds. This awareness adds to their understanding of the environment. The feathers of a crow lie smoothly along its body when at rest. This alignment reduces heat loss and maintains comfort. Crows may take short flights between nearby points, conserving energy while moving steadily. The brain activity of a crow supports problem solving in a quiet, efficient way. There is no visible strain, only gradual adjustment. Crows can remember safe locations and return to them during rest. These places provide consistency. The movement of a crow's wings creates lift through a steady rhythm. Each motion builds on the last. Crows may observe human activity from a distance, maintaining a careful boundary. The quiet intelligence of crows continues to reveal itself through small actions, each one steady, each one complete. Crows can hold a sequence of small actions in memory and follow them without interruption. This ability allows them to complete tasks that unfold step by step, each movement connected gently to the next. A crow may tilt its head slightly when observing an object. This small adjustment changes the angle of view, bringing different details into focus without any sudden motion. The surface of a crow's feathers is made of tiny interlocking structures. These structures align smoothly, creating a continuous layer that supports flight and insulation. Crows can notice changes in their environment that happen slowly over time. Gradual shifts in light, sound, or movement become part of their awareness without requiring effort. A crow may carry a small object over a distance, holding it securely in its beak. The grip remains steady, even during flight, with only minor adjustments. The memory of a crow can include both places and experiences. These memories remain stable and can be recalled when similar conditions appear again. Crows sometimes place objects in water and wait quietly. The interaction between object and liquid is observed without haste, as if noting a simple effect. The feet of a crow can adjust their grip based on the surface they touch. Rough bark, smooth metal, or soft ground each produce a slightly different response. Crows can maintain awareness of multiple elements at once. While focusing on one detail, they remain quietly attentive to the wider environment. The motion of a crow's wings during gliding is minimal. Air currents support the body, allowing it to move forward with very little effort. Crows may revisit areas where they have previously found food. These returns are guided by memory rather than chance, forming a calm pattern over time. The beak of a crow can open and close with precise control. This movement allows it to handle both large and very small items. Crows can recognize simple cause and effect relationships. When an action produces a result, that connection is quietly stored and used again. The posture of a crow often appears balanced and composed. Even when alert, there is no visible tension, only a steady readiness. Crows may watch the behavior of other animals without interfering. Observation alone provides information, which is absorbed without urgency. The feathers along a crow's wings can shift slightly to control airflow. These subtle changes help maintain smooth and stable flight. Crows can remember the timing of certain events, such as when food is available. This sense of timing supports regular patterns of movement. The sound of a crow landing is soft and brief. The transition from air to ground happens with careful control. Crows may explore objects by touching them lightly with their beak. This contact provides information about texture and resistance. The brain of a crow supports flexible thinking. When one approach does not work, another is tried, without visible stress. Crows can distinguish between safe and unsafe situations based on past experience. This awareness remains steady and reliable. The feathers of a crow can trap a thin layer of air close to the body. This layer acts as insulation, maintaining warmth. Crows may move in short, measured steps while searching for food. Each movement is deliberate, with pauses in between. The eyes of a crow can detect small movements at a distance. This sensitivity supports awareness of both prey and surroundings. Crows can remember the faces of other crows. This recognition helps maintain social structure within groups. The wings of a crow create lift through repeated, even motion. Each beat contributes to a smooth forward movement. Crows may adjust their position slightly to stay balanced in the wind. These adjustments are continuous and subtle. The beak of a crow can apply gentle pressure when needed. This allows it to handle fragile items without breaking them. Crows can observe patterns in the behavior of other crows. These patterns become familiar and guide future interactions. The quiet presence of a crow often blends into the environment. Its movements are steady and unobtrusive. Crows may return to a place where they have hidden food, guided by memory alone. The location is recalled with quiet accuracy. The structure of a crow's skeleton supports both strength and flexibility. This combination allows for a wide range of movement. Crows can adapt to different types of food without difficulty. Their diet changes gradually based on availability. The feathers of a crow reflect light in subtle ways. Under certain conditions, faint colors appear within the dark surface. Crows may pause for long moments, remaining still while observing their surroundings. These pauses are calm and unforced. The coordination between a crow's feet and beak allows it to manipulate objects with care. Each movement is controlled and precise. Crows can learn from repeated experiences. Over time, familiar patterns become part of their natural behavior. The sound of a crow's call can vary slightly depending on context. Each variation carries a small difference in meaning. Crows may follow paths that they have taken before. These routes become part of their internal map. The wings of a crow can fold neatly against its body when at rest. This compact form conserves energy and maintains warmth. Crows can remain aware of their surroundings even while focused on a single task. This balance of attention is steady and continuous. The beak of a crow is used for both strength and delicacy. It adapts easily to different tasks without strain. Crows may observe reflections without reacting strongly. The image is noted, then quietly left behind. The quiet intelligence of crows continues through small actions that repeat over time. Each behavior remains consistent, without urgency or display. The environment around a crow becomes familiar through repeated experience. Landmarks and patterns settle into memory, forming a stable sense of place. Crows can adjust their behavior in response to subtle changes. These adjustments are gradual and measured. The feathers of a crow remain aligned through gentle maintenance. This alignment supports both flight and comfort. Crows may move between shaded and open areas depending on conditions. This movement follows a calm and steady rhythm. The brain processes of a crow remain efficient and balanced. Information is used without excess or delay. Crows can maintain a quiet awareness of both near and distant elements. This awareness supports smooth interaction with their environment. The steady presence of crows in many landscapes reflects their adaptability and calm intelligence, expressed through small, continuous actions that carry on without end. A gentle stream of quiet science can begin again, moving slowly and evenly, offering simple observations that rest lightly in the mind. The pace remains calm and steady, with each idea arriving without effort and leaving just as softly. A crow's brain contains a dense network of neurons that support flexible thinking. This compact arrangement allows information to be processed in a way that appears smooth and unhurried. There is space here for stillness, where each sentence drifts by without urgency. Nothing needs to be held, and nothing needs to be remembered. The rhythm remains even, and the sound of each word settles quietly before the next begins. The mind can follow along or simply rest, allowing the flow to continue on its own. Each moment stands gently on its own, complete and unforced. Crows belong to a group of birds known for their adaptability. They move between different environments with ease, adjusting their behavior in small and steady ways. A crow can recognize individual human faces and retain that memory over long periods. This recognition forms a stable link between past and present experience. The feathers of a crow appear dark, yet under certain light they reveal faint tones of blue or violet. This effect comes from the way light interacts with the fine structure of each feather. Crows can use simple tools, shaping small sticks to reach hidden food. The process unfolds slowly, with each adjustment made carefully. The calls of crows vary in tone and rhythm. These sounds carry information that other crows understand without visible effort. A crow's beak is both strong and precise. It can open hard shells or gently hold small objects without damage. Crows remember places where food has been stored. These locations are recalled with quiet accuracy, forming a network of remembered points. The eyes of a crow provide a wide field of view, allowing awareness of both nearby and distant elements. Crows can learn by watching others. When one bird discovers a useful method, others may observe and repeat it in their own time. A crow's flight is steady and controlled, with wings moving in smooth, consistent patterns. Crows can solve simple problems that involve more than one step. Each attempt builds gradually, without sudden change. The structure of a crow's nest is arranged with care, using layers of twigs and softer materials inside. Crows show a subtle awareness of time, returning to certain places in a regular pattern. The brain of a crow includes regions that support decision-making and memory, functioning in a calm and balanced way. Crows can distinguish between objects based on shape, size, and texture. This helps them choose tools or identify food. The feathers of a crow provide insulation by trapping a thin layer of air close to the body. Crows sometimes gather in groups, forming quiet assemblies that remain calm and orderly. The feet of a crow are adapted for gripping, allowing it to rest securely on branches. Crows adjust their behavior based on experience, making small changes without visible strain. The lifespan of a crow allows it to accumulate knowledge of its environment over time. Crows can prepare for future needs by storing food or selecting tools in advance. The sound of a crow's call can shift slightly depending on context, carrying subtle differences in meaning. Crows move on the ground with deliberate steps, pausing often to observe. The wings of a crow allow both gliding and active flight, supporting efficient movement. Crows remember past interactions and use that memory to guide future behavior. The environment of a crow can include both natural spaces and human-made structures, and it adapts to each with ease. Crows can use water in simple ways, such as softening food before eating. The beak of a crow grows slowly and is maintained through regular use. Crows observe their surroundings with quiet attention, often pausing between movements. The feathers of a crow are maintained through gentle preening, keeping them aligned. Crows recognize patterns in their environment, allowing them to respond with consistency. The body of a crow is lightweight yet strong, supporting extended periods of flight. Crows can form stable social bonds that persist over time. The movement of a crow's head is smooth and controlled, shifting focus gently from one point to another. Crows follow daily routines that create a steady rhythm in their behavior. The intelligence of crows appears through small, consistent actions rather than sudden displays. Crows can hold a sequence of actions in memory and follow them step by step. A crow may tilt its head slightly to adjust its view, bringing different details into focus. The surface of a crow's feathers is made of interlocking structures that form a smooth layer. Crows notice gradual changes in their environment without urgency. A crow can carry small objects during flight, maintaining a steady grip. Crows remember both places and experiences, recalling them when needed. Crows may place objects in water and observe the result quietly. The feet of a crow adjust their grip based on the surface they touch. Crows maintain awareness of multiple elements at once, balancing focus and observation. The motion of a crow's wings during gliding is minimal, supported by air currents. Crows revisit areas where food has been found before, guided by memory. The beak of a crow opens and closes with precise control. Crows understand simple cause and effect relationships and apply them consistently. The posture of a crow remains balanced and composed, even when alert. Crows observe other animals quietly, gathering information without interaction. The feathers along a crow's wings shift slightly to control airflow. Crows remember the timing of events, forming steady patterns. The sound of a crow landing is soft and controlled. Crows explore objects by touching them lightly with their beak. The brain of a crow supports flexible thinking without visible strain. Crows distinguish between safe and unsafe situations based on experience. The feathers of a crow trap air to maintain warmth. Crows move in measured steps while searching for food. The eyes of a crow detect small movements at a distance. Crows recognize the faces of other crows within their group. The wings of a crow create lift through even, repeated motion. Crows adjust their position slightly to remain balanced in the wind. The beak of a crow applies gentle pressure when needed. Crows observe patterns in the behavior of others and remember them. The presence of a crow often blends into the background of its environment. Crows return to hidden food locations with quiet accuracy. The skeleton of a crow supports both strength and flexibility. Crows adapt to different food sources without difficulty. The feathers of a crow reflect light in subtle ways. Crows pause for long moments, remaining still while observing. The coordination between feet and beak allows careful manipulation of objects. Crows learn from repeated experiences over time. The sound of a crow's call varies slightly depending on context. Crows follow familiar paths that become part of their internal map. The wings of a crow fold neatly against its body when at rest. Crows remain aware of their surroundings while focusing on a single task. The beak of a crow adapts to different levels of force and precision. Crows observe reflections without strong reaction. The intelligence of crows continues through small, repeated actions. The environment becomes familiar through steady observation. Crows adjust their behavior in response to subtle changes. The feathers remain aligned through gentle maintenance. Crows move between shaded and open areas in a calm rhythm. The brain processes of a crow remain efficient and balanced. Crows maintain awareness of both near and distant elements. The steady presence of crows reflects their adaptability and quiet intelligence, expressed through continuous, unhurried behavior. Crows can maintain a quiet awareness of shifting light across the day. As brightness changes slowly, their behavior adjusts in small and steady ways, without any visible urgency. A crow may stand still for a period of time, observing without movement. This stillness allows subtle details to become clear as the environment continues around it. The structure of a crow's feathers includes fine barbs that connect gently, forming a smooth surface. These connections can separate and realign through simple preening motions. Crows can remember the sounds associated with certain places. These sounds become part of a larger pattern that helps define their surroundings. A crow may approach a new object slowly, pausing at intervals. Each pause provides a moment to observe before moving closer. The wings of a crow can change angle slightly during flight, allowing controlled turns that feel gradual and balanced. Crows can recognize differences in texture using their beak. This sensitivity helps them handle objects with appropriate pressure. The rhythm of a crow's movement often includes brief pauses. These pauses are not interruptions, but part of a steady pattern of action and observation. Crows may watch the sky for extended periods, noting changes in movement or light without reacting immediately. The feet of a crow can grip uneven surfaces with ease. Small adjustments keep the body balanced and stable. Crows can remember where they have seen other animals find food. This memory can guide their own movement later. The sound of a crow's call can soften or deepen slightly depending on distance and surroundings. Crows may shift their position on a branch, adjusting balance with small, controlled motions. The feathers along a crow's body can lift slightly in response to temperature, helping regulate warmth. Crows can observe the behavior of humans from a distance, learning patterns without direct interaction. The beak of a crow can tap lightly against surfaces, producing a soft sound that reveals texture. Crows may carry food to a quieter place before eating, moving calmly from one location to another. The eyes of a crow can follow slow movement with steady focus, without rapid shifts. Crows can recognize when an object has been moved from its original place. This change is noted and remembered. The wings of a crow produce a consistent pattern of motion during flight, each movement blending into the next. Crows may rest during the day in calm, sheltered locations. These resting periods are quiet and undisturbed. The coordination between a crow's senses allows it to respond smoothly to its environment. Crows can learn to open simple containers by repeating small actions over time. The feathers of a crow lie close to the body when relaxed, creating a smooth outline. Crows may watch water surfaces, observing reflections or movement without immediate response. The brain of a crow processes information in a way that supports gradual adjustment rather than sudden change. Crows can remember pathways that lead to reliable food sources, returning along similar routes. The beak of a crow can hold objects securely while the bird moves or flies. Crows may tilt their heads in small increments, refining their view of an object. The environment around a crow becomes familiar through repeated observation, forming a quiet sense of place. Crows can detect slight differences in sound, allowing them to distinguish between sources. The wings of a crow can remain extended for short glides, reducing effort while maintaining direction. Crows may move along the ground with a pattern of steps and pauses, each movement measured. The feathers of a crow are arranged to shed water, allowing it to remain functional in light rain. Crows can remember the outcomes of interactions with other animals and adjust future behavior accordingly. The sound of a crow's landing is soft, with minimal disturbance to the surroundings. Crows may explore small areas repeatedly, becoming familiar with each detail over time. The beak of a crow can apply steady pressure, allowing it to open or break objects gradually. Crows can observe the arrangement of objects and notice when something changes. The wings of a crow fold smoothly against its body when it comes to rest. Crows may sit quietly for extended periods, maintaining awareness without movement. The feathers of a crow can shift slightly in the breeze, creating subtle changes in appearance. Crows can learn from watching repeated actions, storing the pattern for later use. The eyes of a crow remain steady, tracking movement without sudden shifts. Crows may move between locations at a consistent pace, without rushing. The beak of a crow can be used to adjust small objects with precision. Crows can recognize familiar shapes within their environment, even when partially hidden. The wings of a crow support both short and long flights, adapting to distance as needed. Crows may rest in groups, maintaining a quiet presence together. The feathers of a crow provide both protection and flexibility, supporting movement and comfort. Crows can remember the timing of daily events, aligning their behavior with these patterns. The sound of a crow's call can travel across open space, fading gradually with distance. Crows may adjust their posture slightly in response to wind or movement around them. The beak of a crow can be used for both strength and delicate handling. Crows can observe subtle changes in light as the day moves toward evening. The wings of a crow continue their steady rhythm, carrying the bird across familiar paths. Crows may return to resting places as light fades, settling into stillness. The feathers remain aligned through gentle maintenance, preserving their function. Crows maintain a calm awareness of their surroundings, with no urgency or strain. The steady presence of crows continues across changing conditions, their quiet intelligence expressed through small, consistent actions that flow without end. The movement slows a little more now, becoming softer and more distant, like a quiet pattern fading into the background. Each small detail settles gently, no longer needing attention, no longer asking to be followed. The steady rhythm of wings, the quiet observation, the calm intelligence of crows all drift into a softer space, where thoughts begin to loosen and fade. There is no need to hold on to any of it. The mind can grow heavier, more relaxed, as everything becomes slower, quieter, and more still. Like a gentle night settling over open space, everything softens. The air feels calm. The sounds feel distant. The thoughts become light and slow. Drifting. Settling. Resting. A soft quiet remains, steady and unbroken. And in that quiet, everything continues, slowly, gently, without effort.